welcome Mr. Matan Bar. Where is it? Oh, could you come here? So give it the applause. He's the head of PayPal Consumer Products Center, and he's gonna tell us something about from founding a lean startup to leading $1 billion products. So tell me something. Can we get him a microphone? Oh no, this is going to be the microphone. So that's a very nice name, Matan. Yeah, it's a Croatian name. Did you know that?
Really?
No. I'm lying.
But you're pronouncing it wrong.
Matan?
Yes.
Matan?
Are you Israeli?
Yes, I am from my something side. Yes. So, you're working for Elon Musk, isn't it so? PayPal is from Elon Musk.
Originally, yes. Elon Musk is now more focused on creating the next generation of the car industry. But PayPal is still today a leading e-commerce platform and leading payment competitor around the world. PayPal has more than 170 million users across the world.
I'm one.
And you're one of them, yes, I guess.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. These shoes are...
I bought them.
Exactly.
That's my salary. So so Elon Musk founded it because I think he's the perfect Bond villain. He's building rockets, has millions of dollars, and wants to go to Mars.
That's right. It's not related to PayPal, but definitely he's a big visionary. So even in 2000, where people still paid with cash, he saw the future. He saw that people will continue paying with digital payments, with mobile, with web, and basically no need for a wallet because everything will be on mobile.
Yesterday you were the mentor to our startup teams. How did they do?
They did awesome. I want to be very honest and genuine when I say that. It was fascinating to see the ideation process, how they execute, and how they try to invest money. I think there are many similarities with Israeli startups, and I think that there's a real reason here to succeed because Israel and Croatia, they're both small countries with small network and a very high motivation to succeed with very good ideas. I think what's very important for success is the ecosystem. So you have great teams, I've met them personally, but I think that without a great ecosystem, things are more difficult. And I see here, and from what I hear here, I see that the ecosystem is growing every year, and I think this is the key factor for success of these teams.
Yes, we're awesome. We're like that. That's Croatia for you. How long are you in Croatia?
I arrived yesterday, so 3 days. Yeah.
Oh, so you know the ecosystem of Croatia very well. No, did somebody from the startup teams do really well? Is there $1 billion idea in Croatia here? Say yes. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna, sad ćete pustiti, sad ćete pričam na hrvatski, ali so I'm gonna leave you to do your presentations. Please, a big applause to keep the enthusiasm going for Mr. Matan.
Thank you. Thanks everybody. I would like to thank the city of Zagreb and the mayor and the Israeli embassy and the ambassador. Thank you very much for inviting us. I am very excited to be here, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday, as I mentioned, I met 14 startups, one after the other, hearing their pitch, hearing their ideas, hear how they think about raising money and become a real business. Some of them are already businesses, some of them are more early. And it was fascinating to me because I had personally the privilege of seeing products that fail, seeing products that were like okay, and seeing products that are doing more than $35 billion a year. And so it's interesting to see that there are a lot of similarities between these products, whether it's a small product or whether it's a huge product serving hundreds of millions of users. And today, I want to talk about these similarities. There are a few themes that I think are important to emphasize when building a business. And I think it applies to the entrepreneurs here, or future entrepreneurs in the audience. So before I start, can you please raise your hand if you are an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur? Please raise your hand. Okay, so I prepared the right presentation. That's okay. The audience fits the presentation. That's an important thing. So today I'm going to talk about three key themes, three key principles that are important for every business, every product, every company. And I'm going to talk about 5 lessons that I've learned. I don't like to talk in high level, using high words. I really like giving examples, because sometimes when you come to these types of conferences and you hear these types of talks, it's very hard to even remember what was said. And it's very hard to even take what you heard and connect it to what you actually do. So I want to walk you through my personal story and share some of the lessons that I've learned. Hope it will help. So a little bit background about myself. So I founded a company in 2009, and it got acquired by eBay in 2011. Since then, I've been leading the product design and also the center, the eBay Innovation Center in Tel Aviv, that is responsible for finding the next billion-dollar business for eBay. Just a little less than a year ago, I transitioned from eBay to PayPal to become the leader of the PayPal Consumer Product Development Center. It's a center located in Tel Aviv and is responsible for the business of P2P, which is peer-to-peer payments, a $35 billion business annually. And so I think that throughout this path, like I mentioned, I had the privilege of seeing different types of concepts. And it's really amazing to see what is shared between all of them. The key principles are simple. And this is very trivial, but I think that these are things that are common every day when you're an entrepreneur. So the 3 key principles, the 3 key factors for a success is an idea, obviously. There's no companies without ideas. The second one is execution. And the third is the team. And I'll talk about each a little bit. So let me start with my story. So when we built the startup, me and my 2 partners, our idea was simple. We said we want to do group payments. The idea was very simple. We tried to organize a group gift to buy 3 friends, buy a gift to another friend. And we had to collect money. We had to collect $20 from this friend, $50 from this friend, another $70 in order to collect the money and buy something together. It was very hard to do back then. And we said, hey, what if we create a platform, a product online that can help people do that? Very simple. So we created a product that enabled people to invite their friends via email or Facebook to pitch in, to pay $20, $50, and collect the money to buy one great gift. There are many use cases, like buying a gift to a coworker, to a teacher, where you buy as a group. And we launched the product, and it was an amazing failure. We didn't succeed. Far from it. I think, we built the product, we were all very excited, we launched it, and we expected millions of dollars a day. But no one came to use the product. No one really used it. When I say no one, it's like hundreds of users, like thousands of users, but we didn't see real traction. And so we asked ourselves why. And there were a few answers. First, as a group gifting company, it's very important to let the person select the right gift. And so we weren't good at it. Like our inventory, our gifts that we let the users select weren't great. Also, people didn't trust us. Like we basically tell people, hey, come to our site, pay, chip in, give your $20, give your $50 to collect the money, and people didn't trust us. Like they don't know us. We're not eBay. We're not like a big brand that you can simply trust when you pay online. So we had a lot of problems. But the most difficult one was it was very hard to get to users. And I'm sure that all of you are familiar with this problem. You build a website or you build an app. It's very hard to get to people. How do people find out about your app? Of course, you can take $10 million and market it on Facebook if you're eBay or PayPal, but as a startup, you simply can't allow that. And we weren't good with it. So we said, okay, what are we good at? And we said, okay, gifting is okay. We're not good in letting the user select the gift, but we're good at facilitating payments. We were very good in organizing the payment. Also, we started hearing different e-commerce sites telling us, hey, your idea is interesting. Sites like eBay, sites like Amazon, they were interested in allowing their users to do group payments, to buy things together as well. And so we did our first pivot. Pivot is a very important part of a startup process. And so we basically pivoted our product from a B2C product. Instead of approaching users directly, we started approaching businesses. We offered our product as a service. So we came to eBay, we came to Amazon, we came to many other sites and told them, hey, we can offer you a service to have group payments on your site, to allow your users to organize group gifts. And they liked it. And so we completely changed our product. We threw away what we had, literally threw away 6 months of work. And we created a B2B product that could integrate in different sites. As you can see here, this is eBay Group Gifts. This is some other integrations that we had. It doesn't matter, but what matters is that we made a significant change. We completely changed our model. And then we were good. Things were going well, not amazing, still not amazing, but very well, better than before. We had a lot of users because we had eBay users. We had these other sites users to use our platform. So that was great, but still not amazing. And so we started doing what every startup is doing. We started changing our flows, changing the user experience, changing content, saying, hey, if we remove this step, maybe more people will complete the group gift. We'll remove friction. So we did all of that, but I'm sure you know that when you try to optimize an existing product, there isn't a very high potential. You can improve it by 100%. You can improve it by 50% if you change a few things. But if you want a change that is worth 10,000% or 1,000,000%, it's not going to come from little changes. So we did another big change. And this change was based on our strengths. So eBay Group Gifts was a good product, but people didn't really buy gifts on eBay in general. They preferred other sites when buying gifts. And so if we talk about group gifts, it was a difficult thing to do on eBay because eBay is not a great gifting site. And so we said, okay, so what is eBay good at? eBay good at tickets, concert tickets, show tickets, things, or sports tickets, baseball tickets. They have a $2.8 billion ticket business where people buy tickets for different concerts. And we said, hey, wait a second. Group gifts is one use case for a group payment. What if we apply our group payments technology to tickets? Tickets are a great use case because when you always go to an event with friends. When you go to a basketball game, you go with 2 friends. So you always need to split the cost. You always need to buy the tickets together instead of this one person that is buying the tickets for the entire group and pays a lot of money. And so we did that. We did another pivot. Again, we wanted a significant change, not a small change. So we did another pivot from gifts to tickets, and the results were amazing. We've done almost close to $100 million the first year, and it was defined as a great success. So only in our second pivot, we were able to launch a really successful product. And so we launched Go Together, which is the group gifting equivalent of group gifts. And so the first lesson that I've learned, and I want to share with you, is as a startup, you need to optimize your product. You need to make sure that people understand what it does. But if you get to a stage where you're saying, hey, this is not this is not really making huge growth. As a startup, you need hundreds of percentages of growth every week or every month. Otherwise, it's not interesting. It's not like you're a big company that you need to grow by 5%, 7%. You need amazing growth to get investments. And so if you see that things are stuck and you try to optimize, you did a few changes, consider pivoting, because pivots are the key factor to finding the right idea. And so I always look at it as, ideas are the multipliers. And so if you can see the table below, it's the multiplier between the idea and the execution. If you have an okay idea and you have great execution, you won't have a great business. But if you have an amazing idea with great execution, it will be amazing. And so I encourage you to do pivots and consider when optimization is just not enough. The other lesson that I want to talk about, again, very trivial, but super important. You must always judge yourself by your strengths. And I'm not just talking about personal strengths. I saw many teams yesterday, super talented people. And each of them had different strengths. They came from different backgrounds. One came from a marketing background. One came from sailing background. And you need, when you do a startup, you need to think what you're good at. What are you good at? And by that, do your process, do your plan. And it's not just personal skills, not just personal strengths, it's also environment strength. If you're in an environment, for example, like eBay, that gifting, people don't really buy gifts on eBay, why would you do group gifts in an environment so difficult? Tickets is a much better use case for eBay, so if this is eBay's strength, do a tickets product. Like, you need to think about the strength of your environment and you personally. It's very important. Let me talk about another example. And this is now about execution. Execution, I would say that like that, like ideas by itself is not worth anything. Many people had the Facebook idea a long time before Facebook came out. And they all said, hey, we thought about it first. They are wrong. In order to execute a good product, you need to make 1 million decisions a week. And from this idea, hey, let's have a social network. From this idea, one company will have a completely different set of decisions than the other, resulting in a completely different company and product. And so Facebook made the right 1 million decisions, as opposed to others that were similar, but still very different. And so I want to talk about execution. Again, another example. We built a product that scans your emails, your Gmails, your Outlooks, your Yahoo mails, your Hotmails. It scans it in order to find receipts, online receipts that you get after you make a purchase. We did that because we wanted to know everything a user is buying online. So when you buy on Amazon an iPhone case, you get an email receipt to your email. If I can scan all these receipts, I know everything you bought online, from Amazon, from eBay when they send a receipt, from different sites that send you a receipt for what you just paid for. And so we said, okay, that's obviously very good for eBay. Let eBay know everything you bought online from different sites, not just from eBay, because they have the receipt data. And so we ask users, hey, let us scan your email. Let us scan all your emails to find your receipts. And you're probably thinking, why would I let you do that? Why would a user let eBay scan his email address or her email address or all of his emails, personal emails and receipts? And you're right, it's a huge ask. It's a huge thing to ask. I'm sure as a startup, you're asking your users to do big stuff as well. Maybe not as scanning your email, but you're asking them to register. You're asking them to do work in order to use the product. And so why would you let someone scan your email? And so if I would tell you, each of you will get $1 million if you let me scan your Gmail? I think most of you would say yes, maybe. If it was $10 million, more people would say yes. So if we look at it, it's a matter of value. What are you getting? Like if it's $10 million is a high value to scan your email. So it's a matter of value. It's not just a matter of what are you asking, it's also a matter of what are you providing in return. And so this is maybe the most important lesson that I've learned throughout these products. The lesson is if the value of your product is not clear, the price will always be too high. And so when I talk about price, I don't talk about money. Price can be privacy, like scanning your email, or a long form with many steps that you ask your user to fill. It's also the price he has to pay to use your product. And so if your value is not clear, the price, what you're asking your user to do, will always be too much. So you need to experiment. You need to find the right value. You need to find the right pitch that will allow the user to pay the price that you want. And so that's what we've done with this experience where we asked people to scan their email address. We tested different landing pages, different banners, different marketing campaigns. We did it for 6 months until we found the right formula that allowed us to ask users to scan their mailboxes. And they said yes, many of them, a very high percentage. I can't share exactly, but it was a super high percentage once we did this process over and over again. And so the fourth lesson that I want to share is experimentation is key, but you need to make sure that you're measuring the right thing. You'll hear many investors coming to you and telling you, what's your engagement right now? How many people are using it daily? And you have 3 users or 5 users, like it doesn't matter. Like you need to be sure what you're measuring at each phase. And usually this is what we use. We use acquisition, how people get to the product, activation, how people register or start using, engagement, how often people return, referrals, how many friends these users are bringing with them, revenue, and user satisfaction. These are the only metrics throughout the $35 billion product and the $0 product. These are the metrics that we've measured. And we focused on different metrics at each phase. Obviously, for a new product, acquisition is super important. Then engagement. For an old product, a successful product, revenue becomes more interesting. So be sure to pick the right ones. Last theme. So we talked about ideas, execution. This will be simple and short. And this one is more important than anything that is probably associated with the startup world. Your team. As a leader, as a CEO, as a product manager, as an engineer, you can't do stuff yourself, obviously. But it's very important to understand when you have priorities, if it's to launch a new product or get investment, these are all great priorities, but your first one is to make sure you have great talent. And not just that you have great talent, that these people will stay with you. This is the base for everything. And this is what, as a CEO, you should invest most of your time in. Because, again, you need very talented people to go through failures or successes. And I'll tell you one anecdote. When we raised money, we raised a few rounds, seed money, another $1 million, another $2 million. And at the first investment, the seed, after 2 months that we were active, the only reason that we got an investment is because of the team. The only reason. We had a meeting with one of the most familiar and famous angel investors in Israel, and we wanted to show him our product. We wanted to show, hey, this is a group gift, like, check it out. And he wasn't even interested in looking at what we did. And we prepared really hard, so it was kind of disappointing. But he wasn't interested. He just asked us personal questions. He asked us, what do you do? What's your background? Are you volunteering? kept asking these personal questions because he knew, better than we did, he knew that ideas keep changing. A team stays. And so if you want to evaluate a startup, you must evaluate the team, because the other stuff at an early stage doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is the team. And as you can see, we changed our ideas a lot before we became successful. So he was right, probably. And so the last lesson is teams are the most important thing. And as leaders, as CEOs, you need to make sure that your teams are happy and want to stay and work hard to achieve your goal. And so it's important that you build the right culture to preserve that. You build a fun environment, a fun, productive, efficient, direct environment to allow everything else. The culture of your team is the base for execution, ideas, investments, whatever you want. The culture is ceremonies that you do, is fun days, it's things that are how you handle meetings, whether they are direct or too polite. These are the things that keep talented people, not salaries. Salaries are important, pay salaries, but also culture. Culture is what keeps them. These are the 5 lessons, and I hope these are practical enough for you to take and use. And I would like to thank you for your time, and please ask me questions if we have some more time. Thank you.